Hello, everyone. What a week we've had. It is my honor to welcome you to the greatest podcast in the world, Two Girls, One Trade. I am your queen of stonks, the trading chick, and I am accompanied by my lovely co-host, the blonde broker. We have quite the episode lined up for you today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
I'm excited to introduce you guys to our presenting sponsor, StockTwits. StockTwits is where you go to get pulse of the markets, to see what's trending, read what investors are trading, including ourselves. We absolutely love using this platform. Growing your financial freedom, it's never been easier. Now you're able to trade on their app, which you guys should go check out, trade some crypto. Also, let us know what you're trading. We'd love to hear about it on our Twitter page. And let's go ahead and get into the episode.
Fucking do it, baby.
StockTwits, baby. On this episode, we're gonna go ahead and cover some HIM's earnings. We're going to talk about great stocks like Fubo and Etsy. And then we're also going to dive into the Canadian freedom movement. Talk about a little what those truckers have been doing the last month. And then sadly, we do have to discuss what is potentially and looks like World War III that we're getting into.
Okay, so I'll kick you guys off with earnings. On Tuesday, we had HIMS with a stellar beat on revenues. I am invested in HIMS, love the company. The company issued better than expected guidance for both Q1 and full year 2022. The average customer order in Q4 was $74. Also, the company just touched $1 billion in market cap, which is kind of small. And with 609,000 subscribers, this really isn't too shabby for a penny stock. On Wednesday, we had Fubo and Skills. Fubo, the sports TV platform, Q4 revenues came in at $231 million versus the $213 million that was expected. Ad revenues grew 100% year over year, and the company added 185,000 new subscribers in Q4 alone. Another one slaying with the subscriber growth. Skills, the mobile gaming platform, had a weak quarter with revenue at $108.8 million versus consensus of $113.95 million. The company reported a net loss of $99 million in Q4, which was about 50% higher than their net loss 1 year prior. On Thursday, we had Coin and Square, which is now Block, and we had Etsy. Coin reported revenues at $2.5 billion versus the $1.9 billion that analysts expected. Square beat revenues slightly by $50 million, with revenues coming in at $4.08 billion. EPS came in at 27 cents per share versus the 22 expected, which is an almost 23% beat on EPS, which is actually really good news. Etsy, the fucking queen of earnings right now,
love Etsy,
reported earnings per share at $1.11, which beat analyst estimates by 40%, which is fire. The company reported sales of $717 million versus the $685 that was expected, and shares traded 17% higher in after hours on Thursday. So go Etsy. So now that we talked about some earnings and great news on Etsy, we definitely are gonna need to segment to some worse news. On Wednesday night after market close, Russia invaded Ukraine. This was an international treaty violation. Putin is an authoritarian. He has likely been planning this invasion for years. So this isn't something that suddenly just happened. He's been planning this for years. And yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So right now it's still winter in Europe, which, I think has been the best time for this invasion for him, because Germany and France risking losing heat and power to their homes. They're still supplied by 40% of energy. So Russia controls 40% of the energy supplied to their homes. So they can't retaliate in any form or fashion. They're kind of just stuck to the cold, and Russia, Mother Russia, they run winter.
They need them.
They need them. They rely on them.
Fucking Russia, they knew what's up.
This is something that we believe has been planned since at least 2014, because like these guys, these crazy power lords, when they have a plan like this, they're gonna have it, they're gonna work on it, develop it, and then set it in motion. And
yeah, they don't have a time frame like US politicians do where they're in and out of office in a certain amount of years. Like Putin has been there forever, and he will be there probably till the day that he dies. So he's definitely playing fucking chess, and he's not playing checkers.
That's a great way to put it. And sadly, you know, we were on Twitter Spaces last night, which is where we got a lot of our...
Shout out Bergevin.
Yeah, shout out Bergevin and Stock Talk Weekly. We love you guys.
Yeah, they did a killer job.
It was kind of the best and quickest way to receive information. They had live streams going the entire time. They were up for 24 hours just reporting any news that they got. They actually had people on Twitter Space speaking that were in other countries or had family members. Just some inside source that was able to kind of tell us what was going on. So, you know, that was a really hard night for us to go through.
And everyone.
The whole world. I mean, we stayed up sick to our stomachs watching this and wondering what's going to happen. And, you know, honestly, it doesn't look the best for Ukraine. However, Ukraine did say that their military has grown immensely over the past few years, and they're
also having help of US weapons.
Yes, they didn't want to get caught with their backs against the wall again this time. So from what we've seen, today is Thursday night, we've seen at least six aircrafts get shot down from the sky, and
by Ukraine.
By Ukraine. So we'll just have to keep watching the news to see what happens, but it looks like they are putting up a fight and they are getting reinforcements. And so
what's interesting to note too is that like this is Putin's 5-year plan, 10-year plan, however fucking long he's been planning this. He's been planning this, and it's basically day one. Like it hasn't really even been 24 hours yet. And today in the market on Thursday, the NASDAQ rallied super hard. I mean, the market's just all over the place, and I just don't think that people really know how to or can even begin to comprehend how they should digest this news, because the NASDAQ was going down, big tech was going down. We were kind of in a bear market on that front, and now with this Russian news, it's almost like the market saw that as bullish today. But you have to remember, this is gonna be bigger than anything that we've seen so far. We're 24 hours in. We're at the very beginning, the first day of what we don't know what Putin's plan is. So it's gonna be crazy to see how this plays out. It's gonna be crazy to see what governments get involved. If the US government gets involved, if China gets involved, who the fuck is gonna get involved? And what are the ramifications if we don't get involved?
Right.
Because with Russia invading Ukraine, and if no one else gets involved, it almost gives the rest of the world, and specifically world powers, the green light to just see their weaker neighbor and be like, oh, okay, cool, I want your land, I'm gonna go attack you, and nothing's gonna happen because nothing happened to Russia. So there's definitely gonna be shit that goes on, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and then for those of you who are newer to trading, or this is something that I, as a millennial, and you haven't had to deal with, especially trading in the market. So what do you do in a time of war? I, for one, sat on my fucking hands. I didn't trade a single thing today because I haven't lived through something like this. Like the pandemic was a totally different story. That was new to us as well, but we saw months, a monthly uptrend, like from March 2019. So we were able to pick up on that. So when the next virus came out, we kind of knew what was going to rally. We knew how to adjust. We knew we needed to be cash heavy or not. I don't really know what to do right now except to hold some of my positions and really just sit on my hands.
So I'm holding the stuff that I like truly believe in,
right,
and that has shown me good earnings in Q4. And some of the stuff that I was holding, that it was like my long-term portfolio that didn't really have like the strongest earnings, I was just like, fuck it, I dumped it. I bought SQQQ, which on the day trade was probably not the best day trade. It ended up being down on the day, but also I have a full portfolio of long-term positions, and this is my hedge. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen going forward. I don't know if the US is gonna be involved. I don't know what other countries are gonna be involved, but I do know that if Putin has been planning this for 5 years, he definitely has a list of leaders that are ready to fight with him if it needs to be that way. And he also has a mental list of people who are gonna oppose him and who he's gonna need to attack. So I don't wanna be completely long the market in a time like this. Like, I definitely want my longs because I believe in them and they're great companies and I wanna hold those companies for my portfolio, but like, yeah. But that definitely brings me into the trade of the week. So because of this Russia and Ukraine stuff, we've already witnessed, even before Russia invaded Ukraine, that the US imposed sanctions on Russia. And additionally, we are seeing it from the United Nations now, I believe. Am I wrong? Did I just make that up?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So what does that mean for us? Last episode, I don't know if you remember this, but someone asked in the questions of the week.
Which, thank you guys for doing that.
Yes, we
that's
love
been really
questions.
helpful for us for these episodes, and
Yes.
we look forward to answering questions as wild as they may be or tame. We love doing it. So
Yeah. So last episode, we were asked about what oil stocks we should invest in. And I was like, fuck oil, I hate oil. But now with this whole Russia-Ukraine thing, honestly, oil can probably moon because, like you said, it is winter. People need oil to heat their houses. Like, Russia controls a lot of oil, and with these sanctions and with Russia basically in a war, we don't know what's gonna happen. But I do want to mention, if you're like me and don't wanna invest in oil, what else could you invest in that will also probably experience a tightening of supply because of this Russia-Ukraine conflict? So Russia also accounts for 6% of the aluminum supply. Yeah, so that's a fun fact. So if you're interested in getting into some materials, aluminum is definitely something to look at. And then also, Russia controls 3.5% of the world's copper supply. And copper recently has been billed as the new oil due to increasing usage in electric vehicles and wind farms, solar panels, and the power grid. Combined with tight supply, I think that this could see a very large increase and a bull run. When it comes to copper plays, I was looking at a few. BHP has a golden cross, which is when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. SCCO also has a golden cross. And then I'm also looking at RIO, that's a copper company based in Brazil. Another play that Rio. Another we're so weird. Another play that I'm obviously looking at is SQQQ. I mean, I think big tech was long overdue for a correction. People are now saying that the Fed might not increase rates because of this war, and that would be bullish for the NASDAQ. But I think regardless of the war, the Fed is gonna have to increase rates just because of what inflation is happening. And then another thing that I'm kind of bullish on, honestly, after Gergivin's whole space, is Twitter.
yes.
So that space, genuinely, I've never experienced news in that fashion in my whole entire life. There were 50,000 listeners when I was in there, and it was Gergivin and Stock Talk Weekly and like all these amazing people, and people from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, were coming up as speakers, and like Gergivin and Stock Talk were vetting them properly, making sure that they were legit. But we were getting live news, unbiased, amazing speakers. Like, you just can't get that on regular news. So that makes me bullish on Twitter.
And they've really done a great job at working on Twitter Spaces and the technical side of things. The space didn't crash. I think at one point it reached 50,000 listeners. Might have been more. We went to sleep at a certain point, but I haven't seen a space over 4,000. So for it to just keep going up and up.
Everyone was listening to it.
Everyone was listening to it.
Like, my friends that don't even use Twitter were listening.
I think my dad was listening to it, guys.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was just like, this is happening right now. This is live. We're on the brink of World War III, and I think we might actually be in it.
It was fucking nuts. Should we move on to Canada?
Yeah. Canada. So
Canada.
I'm gonna be happy to talk about Canada. So my family's Canadian. They're from Windsor, which is
Look at you.
basically Detroit. So it's not like super far up north, nowhere near Ottawa. But I do want to talk a little bit about Ottawa, Canada. So Ottawa is the capital of Canada, and recently they have been very quiet as of Sunday. So the capital was quiet, downtown was quiet. Why? Because all the truckers that are involved with the Freedom Convoy were asked to leave. They said, if you don't leave, you will be arrested, and they arrested, I think, 100 truckers.
What the fuck?
So, and this is all because of mask mandates and vaccine mandates.
Dude, what's their leader called? It's not their president. Is it like the prime minister?
Yes.
Trudeau? Is that him?
I actually don't know.
He's a fuckwad. It's totally Trudeau. Everyone makes fun of him because he's literally just like Canada used to be this amazing little, well, not amazing, but it used to be this little country that's just so happy, and they're just like, sorry.
It's a clean. So my grandpa does say sorry all the time.
Yeah, like they're not getting involved in anything.
Fries and yeah, it's this has kind of been like a really crazy movement on national television where you're seeing truckers who started off with this like peaceful protest that was supposed to last 24 or 48 hours, and they were going at it for more than 30 days. So at some point it starts to anger the citizens of downtown Ottawa. Like, people were reporting that they can't sleep because
I mean, especially when Canada's talking about martial law.
Yep. So it's like kind of just a little shit show going on over there as well.
Shit shows everywhere.
They were just laying on their horns, and I saw some picture of like a guy being thrown into like a snow field, or like a big, I don't know what you call it, a giant mountain of snow. Like, all the cops are around him. This guy just like fell in it, and
snow angels.
Might have been getting arrested. Who the fuck knows? But still, like, hundreds of these large transport trucks are just blocking and surrounding the parliament so no one can get through, and at some point that disrupts supply.
I was gonna say supply chain issues, man.
Supply chain issues. So then the people are getting pissed, and now we're not just talking like the people of Canada. Now America is doing something very similar with a truck envoy. So,
are they?
Yeah, they're calling it now the American convoy, or I don't know, it's just like modeled after these protests in Canada. So same thing, it's all for the mask mandates and the vaccines, and no one wants to get them. So
Which is so fucking stupid, because I'm sorry, truck drivers are in the truck alone. Like,
yeah, and I don't know
why do they need to wear a mask? Like, who gives a fuck?
At truck stops, I don't know if that's required, that you have to show it when you like get off the truck. We have no idea, but now they're wanting to drive all the way to like Washington, DC,
so ridiculous.
Over the country type travel. So they're gonna set off this like massive cross country drive. So I think we're gonna start seeing that in the next week. But that will of course take place secondary to the war that's going on right now. So I think that's gonna be like the main topic covered for this next week too.
So basically we have World War III potentially on the brink. We have supply chain issues in general, and now we have a truck supply chain issue in Canada, a potential one in America, inflation. What else do we have? COVID, a pandemic. Everyone forgot about COVID. COVID's done.
Yeah, I mean,
COVID's done.
We hopped in the Uber to come record our podcast, and I forgot my mask, but that's because like we're here recording in New York. I'm getting to see my lovely co-host. which is awesome recording in person. Let us know if you guys like this. This might be more fun. But in Texas, the masks haven't been a thing for a hot fucking minute.
Yeah.
Like, you just, like, yeehaw that shit. You don't put your mask on. That's been going on for at least a year now, so.
Okay, speaking of New York, should we tell them about our little New York trip?
Yeah, this has been an adventure. It's only been, what, 24 hours?
It's literally been 24 hours, and so much shit has gone down.
Yeah,
so she gets in, and we're like, yeah, let's go on a wholesome little walk. We go get coffee. We walk around town. By the way, side note, I've been working so hard lately and have not left my desk enough that after all of our walking, I now have this thing called like plantar's fasciitis or like Achilles fasciitis.
Is it fasciitis or
fasciitis? I don't fucking know. Fasciitis.
Clearly, we're not in medical
We're
school.
not doctors.
Fasciitis?
My foot, like genuinely, I'm so out of shape that because I walked so hard, my foot is in pain.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to carry this bitch back on the High Line for like a mile. We were getting passed up by elderly on the High Line because she's like limping in her shoe, and I'm like, we just walked. Like, all we did was walk.
Yeah, but New York is fucking crazy. So we're on the High Line, and like there's all these for those of you who don't know what the High Line is, on the west side of New York City, there's the beautiful river, and there's the West Side Highway, which is like an amazing walk, and there's the High Line that goes basically like between Meatpacking and Hudson Yards, and it's like this elevated walkway, so you don't have to cross any streets. It's just beautiful, and you can just walk there whenever you want, and it's surrounded by apartments because, you know, it's New York City, there's apartments everywhere. But like on the High Line, there's the path, and like obviously there's apartment buildings, but there's certain apartments that are like right on the path that like they know they can be seen because they're right there.
Yeah, so, clear glass, like
clear glass.
They can see us, like, we can see them.
They could go like this and we'd be like this type of thing. Yeah. Like they're that close to us.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, exactly. How many fingers am I holding up? So do you want to say it?
Basically, we're walking and she screams.
I just screamed penis.
Penis! And I'm going, oh, where? Like, oh yeah, I really... Yeah.
I'm pointing. I'm literally pointing.
I want to see it, right? I really want to look at this dick that she's pointing at. And
I mean, everyone does.
Yeah.
So
I look over, we look into this apartment complex, which is eye level to us, and there's a man.
Literally on the phone.
On the phone. Butt naked, like bald, beer belly, the biggest dick.
The biggest
I have
shalong
and ever seen.
Like, this man is white, probably like mid-50s, beer belly, balding.
Like a fat Jeff Bezos.
Yes, like a fat Jeff. He's a fat with a massive schlong. It was insane. And we're just like standing there on the High Line, no joke, screaming, cackling, like, oh my god, penis, like screaming, pointing at this guy, penis. People are looking, they're like all looking at this guy, and this guy's fucking proud. He's just like there on his phone, walking around for the whole world to see his schlong. So that's just a little taste.
Like, no, he knew we were looking at him too. Like, I swear he just went back into the other room. I wonder how long we were staring at him for. But I was like honestly admiring the schlong.
I was like, damn, haven't seen one of those in a while.
Not that size. And I don't know, so now we just have this image stuck in our heads of this guy. We now call him the High Line Flasher. Yep. So
the High Line Flasher.
So he's there.
Beware.
If you guys are ever on the High Line.
Make sure you look out for him. He's on the east side of the High Line. In one of the modern buildings, so
it's a new attraction.
If you see the High Line Flasher, definitely let us know. But yeah, after that we went to Equinox, not even to work out, just to use the steam room and the showers. We walked into the steam room and Blonde Broker is literally just like screaming.
Yeah, so then on top of seeing someone naked, someone walks in on me in the shower and sees me naked, and I don't know. I guess at this point it's like,
What else?
who cares? I'm a woman, you're a woman. You've seen titties, I've seen titties.
Titties.
But like after what we had just seen,
Peace, love, and titties,
I was
baby.
kind of like, what else? Like what else is gonna go wrong?
What else could go wrong? We thought nothing, but that we have more. So we go to dinner at Momoya, which is a sushi restaurant in Chelsea. It was great.
It was beautiful.
And then
Super cute.
we come back to my apartment, and so like I live with 3 random men, and like I've probably talked about this before, but every time I go into my room, it's just a habit. I lock my door because I'm like, I live with 3 fucking men that are random. I share a bathroom with them too, in case you didn't know. So I accidentally, Blonde Broker was outside like doing work after the whole spaces about Russia, which was another fucking thing that went wrong last night. That was an added craziness. So she's outside working. I locked the door. At 1 a.m., she texts me. I didn't see this, obviously. She texts me like, hey, like the door's locked or something, whatever. At 2 a.m., I'm dead asleep, sweating in my sleep because it's so hot in my room. Banging on my door. And I'm like scared. So I go up to the door, and I have the sound machine on in my room. I like turn my sound machine down because it was so loud of like ocean noises. And I heard, I heard the banging over the sound machine. And then it's like one of my roommates, and I had no idea which one it was. It was either, I had no idea. And he's screaming, and I hear like, fuck. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, what? And he's like, where the fuck is my blanket? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm literally so scared. Like, I made sure the door was locked. I was like,
he was basically beating down her door.
Yeah,
like,
beating down my door.
Aggressively banging the door.
I'm like, I have no idea where the blanket is. Like, I have no fucking clue. And then, like, I hear Blonde Broker. It's here.
I have it. So he's beating the shit out of her door, just banging it down the hallway, and I'm just standing at the end of the hallway with the blanket on me, looking like E.T. down at the end. And I go, I have it, sir. And he just comes up and goes, that'll be mine, thank you. Like, takes it back and then goes into his room and goes to bed. But like,
it was so
the most unnecessary reaction. So
I thought I was gonna get fucking knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, I was scared to open my door. I was like, I'm about to either get raped or get punched or die. I don't know, but I was so
Kool-Aid
scared.
Like basically busting it.
Like that was not an appropriate
No, it
2
was-
a.m.
It was
reaction to someone.
Yes,
sleeping.
he could have just said the next day, "Hey, did somebody borrow my blanket?"
Or he saw her with it.
He could have saw me sleeping with.
He could have just picked it off her body, which is probably what I would have done if that was my blanket and I needed it that much.
This is all on me, also, for even borrowing his blanket
Yeah.
to begin with. He had multiple. I
She shouldn't have gone into.
I shouldn't have gone into his room. It was 30 degrees in New York. I had no blanket, and she was in there cozied up with her Amazon sprinkler sound, and I just borrowed his blanket. But yeah, so I'm never fucking borrowing a stranger's blankie again, especially a man that is very territorial of a certain blankie. So
yeah,
it was
scary.
that, but it was like thing after thing after thing. So we wake up this morning and we're like, let's just have coffee and record this podcast.
Yes.
Let's just get this podcast done.
Okay, but I do want to bring up a topic that we talked about at dinner. So we were at dinner with Bill Spackman, and we ended up talking about how, like, last week's episode, we were talking about how we got censored by the New York Stock Exchange. Oh my God.
Sorry.
How we got censored by the New York Stock Exchange because we said eating ass. And, like, the reason this makes us so upset is because being censored goes against every single thing that made us who we are, as in, like, the trading chick and the blonde broker. Like, we are who we are, and we started our Twitters, which, if you don't follow us, because we don't want to conform to what this finance world expects women to be. We want to be hot. We want to be smart. We want to be fucking fun. We want to party. We want to work hard. We want to have multiple businesses, multiple revenue streams. We want to be independent. We want to say dick, and we want to say ass, and we want to say schlong. Okay?
Big schlongs.
Big schlongs. We want big schlongs in our life, and we want to talk about it, okay? And that's just who we are. Maybe we get a few dick pics in our DMs, but I don't know. I think that you and I setting an example for the world as to what women can be, and like how we can just be ourselves and be respected and do our thing and make money is just fucking awesome. And like, I love us for that. And I hate that we got censored for being who we are, but I love that we don't give a fuck and we're just gonna continue to be who we are.
And yeah, I'm really happy that we made it this far, episode 10, and we're in New York together recording and having a blast and doing fantastic things. We made some really great content today.
Such good content.
It's just been really fun, and we're very appreciative for the support that we've had along the way. You know, I was actually very overwhelmed with all the kind comments of people DMing us or just responding to some of our tweets, just saying they're really proud of us for even doing this.
Yeah, and being like, your fucking podcast is awesome.
Yes, and Twitter is such a big platform, and I think having a big platform and a big following comes with a lot of hate, and it's how you handle that hate, how you react to it, and use it to really fuel yourself or make decisions on what you're going to do.
Shoulder.
And I think we just are very thankful for the people who do support us and look forward to listening to these episodes.
Yes.
And they've been very, very, very fun.
We love you guys,
and
especially the ones that appreciate us for our brains and our wit and our psychoticness and our hotness and our nerdiness and our dorkiness and everything in between.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming, girl. But yeah, we just want to keep giving you guys great content. You know, each week we're going to come up with the earnings that have gone on. We're going to talk about really important news, what trades we've made, and then definitely share little funny things that have happened throughout the week, which, as you can tell, they're never fucking endless. Like, something always happens to us. But
all the time.
This has been
Psycho
just really
shit.
a fun process, and I'm very excited for it, and you guys are going to see some really great content and some good opportunities actually too for the future. So
hell yeah. I want to get into my favorite part. Questions of the week, baby. So let's get into it. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, first question. Will you marry for true love or for money? I can't believe you have to think about that. Mine is love.
So the older I get, I'm just almost I'm just kidding. True love. I'm a hopeless romantic, actually. Like, my favorite movie is The Notebook. I cry every single time. I know all of the words to it. It's the cheesiest shit I've ever seen, but I love it because I love love, and I love how hard they love. Like,
You love how hard they love?
it's like aggressive love. Like,
You love how hard and aggressive their love is?
yeah, like, I want to be on like the borderline of like heartbreak all the time. It's really intense love.
Yeah, their love is
Like,
definitely something to be envious of, for sure.
What about you? You said love.
Yeah, mine is love. I don't think that I could marry for money. But I'm not saying that the love of my life won't have money, because I feel like he probably will.
Well, I think you and I are both attracted to success because we want success for ourselves, and I think we're gonna attract other successful people.
Driven.
And with that would be maybe
Driven is
someone
like my
who's-
sexiest
Yes.
character trait in a man. So
Yeah.
usually driven guys are successful.
Like, not the guys that kind of just sleep
Float.
on the couch all the time
Float through life. We don't like the floaters. The floaters.
and
Okay.
sounds gross. What's the
Okay.
next question?
Next question. Kill, fuck, marry.
Ooh.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, stocks.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to. I feel like that's easy. I'm gonna long-term marry stocks. Like, I was trading stocks before I was trading crypto, and so I don't know. We're just in this like downtrend market for crypto. Crypto pulled back, I think 9% last night.
Yeah, but then it was up 5%.
Then it was up. So surprisingly, like we talked about, everything just fucking popped this morning. I'm going to fuck Bitcoin and no, I'm gonna fuck Ethereum and I'm gonna kill Bitcoin.
Okay, mine is the same.
Okay.
Marry stocks, fuck Ethereum, kill Bitcoin.
Nice. Like-minded.
Hey, BP, that's why we love each other. Is a quesadilla a sandwich? So my opinion on this really depends on the way that the quesadilla is made. If it's one tortilla that you sprinkle some cheese in and you fold it over in half and then you cut a slice and then you make a little triangle quesadilla, that is not a sandwich. But if you have two separate tortillas and you make one tortilla and you sprinkle some cheese and you put another tortilla and you flip it and then you cut that up, that's a sandwich. Yeah?
Sure.
Yep. Okay, cool.
I'm hungry now.
Well, I think that that's it for this week's episode.
We did on the quesadilla question.
Yeah. As we said before and a million times, we fucking love you guys. We love being here. We're so happy that we're doing a video this time. Welcome. If this is your first time watching, I am the Trading Chick. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Trading Chick.
And you can find me at The Blonde Broker on Twitter and on Instagram. My handle is theblondebroker.eth.
Okay, cool. And then you can also find our podcast at TG1T Pod, 2 Girls, 1 Trade, on both Instagram and Twitter. And with that, what do we say in closing?
I am healthy.
I am wealthy.
I am rich.
I am that bitch. Period. Blonde Broker and Trading Chick signing off. Love you. Hi everyone. We have a very exciting announcement for you today.
If we hit 100,000 subscribers by August 26th, one lucky fan will have the chance to hang with us in New York City.
It gets better. You won't be coming alone. You'll get to bring a friend.
We'll fly you both first class, stay in a dope hotel, and go on a double date.
With us at one of New York City's most exclusive restaurants. We will sugar mommy the whole thing.
We have fun activities planned for the entire weekend, including $5,000 to each of you in any currency you choose.
So hit the subscribe button and we can't wait to see you in New York.